Introducing the Godwin GOAT. If you're looking for a durable, high-quality indoor basketball that looks good and feels good, then check out the Godwin GOAT at ballhawgloves.com. We also have pads, ball handling gloves, and shooting aids. Why pay $80 to $100 for a basketball when you can get the same quality GOAT for only $20 with discount code TRYGOAT at ballhawgloves.com.
Trae Young entered the elimination game against the Miami Heat with pressure heavier than ever. Expectations for the Atlanta Hawks have fluctuated wildly over the last 2 years, but through the noise, Young has remained their engine. And in this play-in tournament clash, one that would determine whether Atlanta would reach the playoffs or collapse in disappointment, he delivered a performance that was both fierce and deeply personal. Over 44 grueling minutes, Young poured in 29 points, dished out 11 assists, and chipped in 5 rebounds, 1 steal, and even 1 block. His shot wasn't falling effortlessly. He shot 9 of 22 from the field and 4 of 9 from deep, but what made his performance matter was the timing. His biggest play of the night came with 1.3 seconds left in regulation when he knifed through the lane for a game-tying layup, sending the game to overtime and keeping Atlanta's season alive for 5 more minutes. But in the overtime period, even Young's fire couldn't rescue the Hawks. Miami's depth and timely shot-making ultimately sealed a 123-114 win, ending Atlanta's season and handing Young another bitter dose of post-season frustration. Still, it would be unfair to pin the loss on him. What stood out in Young's performance wasn't just the counting stats, it was his poise. Time and again, he threaded passes to cutting teammates, lasered lobs over defenders, and manipulated Miami's switches to exploit mismatches. His 11 assists weren't empty, they directly fed into the Hawks' late-game momentum swings. Young found Onyeka Okongwu for several finishes around the rim, hit Terrence Mann for key threes, and even got Dyson Daniels involved as a cutter when Miami pressed up high. He also controlled the pace, slowing the game down when Miami threatened to break it open and picking it back up when Atlanta needed a burst. This wasn't just a scoring performance, it was a floor general performance. Even his 4 turnovers came mostly from aggression, not carelessness, and considering how much defensive attention he commanded from Miami's trapping scheme, that was inevitable. The painful reality, however, is that this may be another chapter in what's starting to feel like a cycle. A season filled with injuries, inconsistency, and front office instability ended with Young giving everything he had in a hostile environment, only for the Hawks to fall short. Post-game, his words were blunt. "Not making the playoffs is a failure to me." That's not just frustration, that's ownership. Young's skill set remains elite. He's a 25-year-old averaging nearly 27 and 10 over multiple seasons, and he remains one of the league's most creative offensive weapons. But the franchise's trajectory is in question. Atlanta hasn't won a playoff series since their surprising run to the Eastern Conference Finals in 2021, and since then, they've struggled to build a consistent identity around Young. As the Hawks enter another offseason with questions swirling about Quinn Snyder's system, their supporting cast, and Young's long-term future, the one constant remains Trae. And against Miami, even in defeat, he showed why he's still one of the league's most compelling and fearless offensive leaders. We'll see if Young is going to stay with Atlanta Hawks for next season.